super honored to have John today with us talking about institutional strategy from Coinbase. The first question, what is your take on regulatory clarity or like the overall regulation in the US, like Clarity Act and GDS Act?
Z, first of all, thanks for having me on. We're very, very optimistic that the Clarity Act will pass in the U.S. in 2026. We're optimistic that both parties are coming to the table and really pushing for a fair deal that gives the U.S. consumer access to a competitive interest rate and rewards program on stablecoins and access to crypto.
Great. We saw Coinbase recently just acquired the clearing company. And so could you perhaps share with us some of your thoughts on the prediction market, like Polymarket and Kalshi? How is it going to evolve?
So we're on record saying that Coinbase wants to be the everything exchange,
Yes.
where one place you can go to trade everything from equities to bonds to futures to perps to crypto. Prediction markets are a very fascinating new. I view them as really a source of information. The mechanism that you use to gather that information is betting on these outcomes. And this is something that's, I mean, financial markets really haven't seen this before. Futures somehow, to some degree, provide that information, but we haven't seen futures historically have been largely institutional focused. We haven't seen a retail focused event prediction market grow at this scale ever. I'll tell you a quick story. I tried to do this when I was at the New York Mercantile Exchange almost 15 years ago, and I failed miserably. So it's really wonderful to see Polymarket and Kalshi succeed where I failed. And the net result of this is new mechanisms for people to create value for themselves, but more importantly, new mechanisms for people to extract information from the market. So if you want to be the everything exchange, you want to have all the information possible for people to make investment decisions. And that involves prediction markets, which is why we partner with Kalshi to make that happen.
Will you guys be like providing liquidity to prediction market? Because as we know, like the liquidity, like the price gap is really big.
So when you have an open architecture model, it's impossible to create liquidity and market make for every single market because the whole idea is that people can create markets on whatever they want. So to some degree, that liquidity will have to be self-fulfilling. I can't speak to any plans we have to generate liquidity in any specific market. Hopefully, market makers themselves will come on board. But think about prediction markets like YouTube. Anyone can go on YouTube. Anyone can create a video. Not all of those videos are going to have virality. They're not all going to succeed. Not all prediction markets will succeed. But the key is open architecture and allowing the users to determine which of those markets should flourish.
Great. Then one last question. Given that current market is pretty pessimistic, what is your take? What is your thoughts on this?
Well, I've been in crypto now for about 7 years. Before that, I was in commodities, which are kind of like crypto,
Yes.
kind of wild, wacky, prone to illiquidity moments. So this is my seventh crypto apocalypse and my 15th market apocalypse in my career.
Uh-huh.
And all I can say is if you like apples and you go to the supermarket and apples are 50% off, you don't suddenly not like apples anymore. So if you, I don't know, I'm on the institutional side of Coinbase. I don't know a single institutional investor that has put the work and research into this asset class that is suddenly dissuaded by the fact that this asset class is behaving exactly how this asset class has behaved for its entire duration. If you trade commodities, you'll know that crude oil went negative 2 years ago. It doesn't mean that crude oil is not a valuable commodity. It doesn't mean that crude oil is not a viable market. This market has always behaved this way. It likely will behave this way for some time. It's prone to price swings. It's prone to illiquidity crunches. It's endemic to the market structure at this moment. Over time, that might change. But we believe in crypto, and it behaving in this way doesn't surprise us and doesn't dissuade us.
Awesome. Hopefully the market will recover soon.
It always does.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Z.
John. Thank you.
Cheers.